What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So right here we're at the shop, of course. What we're going to be doing is getting more polished parts for Ruby's engine bay. So here we have it, my G35 with the G37 front end conversion. So you guys can see DE motor, G37 front end. And again, we are going to be going twin turbo on this car, but just not yet because I have no idea exactly what we're missing from the kit. But turbos right here, intercooler up there, and then the rest of the parts I have stored away. But for now, what we're going to be doing is focusing on getting more polished parts and making the engine bay look a lot nicer, you know. But right here we have unorthodox crank pulley, aluminum, fully polished. As you guys can see, looks so nice compared to all that down there. But car's been sitting pretty dusty, really dusty. Had to sand that car, so dust got everywhere. But hood is also going to be coming soonish, I hope. I've been waiting for months now for it, but since I was the last one to purchase that hood, I'm the last one to get that hood, so we'll see when that comes. But for now, what we're going to be doing is removing a bunch of these brackets that are down here, because I like how you can see the engine bay is really all nice and tidied up here. But as soon as you look down, it looks like stock. I guess you could say stock and all worn out and run down. So that's what we're going to be doing. So we're going to be removing the belts, remove the crank pulley, both tensioners, the pulleys along with the brackets. We're going to remove the alternator, and then we're also going to get the alternator polished as well. And then we're going to remove the power steering pulley and the bracket that holds it as well. And then the bracket that holds the whole power steering assembly thing. So it's going to be a lot. So we're going to jack up Ruby. She's been sitting, the battery's dead, so I'm going to give her a cold startup. And then we'll get to it on removing all that stuff down there. So I'll show you guys how to do that. All right, so we got Ruby jacked up. I'm going to add a couple of jack stands right now. But first things first, we're going to need to loosen up the tensioners. So this one and this one. This nut is a 14 millimeter. So once you loosen that up, then you can start loosening the whole thing up. And then you got these 12 millimeter bolts. Each bracket has 3 of them. So this one has 3, and then this one has 3 as well. So once you get those off, everything, the belts will come right off. The pulleys and the brackets will come right off. And then the alternator is a little more complicated. Same with the power steering. There's like bolts that go in through here. So in here we have that one, and then that other top one right there that holds the bracket, and then this one. So this one, that top one right there, and then this one down here. So that's a bracket for this. That will come right off. And then we got this bolt right here that's part of the power steering assembly, so that part holds part of the power steering. The other 2 are way back in there. You guys can see in there, you guys can see them both right there. Those 2 need to come out, but it's a pain in the ass to kind of reach them. Thankfully I don't have my heat shield, so I could probably reach them from up here. But another easier way, if you guys do have your heat shield, because even the heat shield is hard to remove, because you got that bolt back there, this one right here, and then there's, I think, a 10 on top right there, and there's one on the that other side. But thankfully I have the heat shield off, so I don't even have to worry about it. So I could probably reach those 2 bolts to get that bracket out, get the whole power steering assembly out. And then the alternator is down here. Let's see, it's that bolt, that bracket, or this bolt, and those are the other bolts for the pulley, for the tensioner pulley. And then you have that bolt right there that goes all the way back. So that bolt, and then this bolt down here is basically what holds the alternator. And then in the back you have the main cable, which I have tucked back here, that goes to the alternator. You undo that, and then the alternator will come right out. So we're gonna get the alternator out, we're gonna get the power steering out, we're gonna get all the pulley tensioners out as well. And I think the only thing that's gonna stay as is basically gonna be the AC condenser, because that's gonna be a pain in the ass to remove, and I do not want to bother with that one. So we're gonna get everything else looking right. This I'll probably just black it out along with the pulley itself. So let's get to it. Oh my god, as you guys can see down here, we still have a bunch of mud from when I went off-roading with Ruby. So it's all cleaned up here, but down below it is just horrible. Look at that. So that's why we need to definitely clean all this up. I guess this one ended up getting ripped off when I went on through the mud, but everything down here is a shit show down here. So yeah, so everything down here is basically a shit show that definitely needs a desperate cleanup. So, and I can see my power steering is leaking, so I need to fix that as well. Luckily I will be removing it, and then I'll figure that out later on. But all this down here needs a wash, desperate wash. So we got majority of the stuff out. So this bracket goes to the alternator. This is one of the, I don't even know what the hell this is from. I think this is from the power steering. So this goes like, yeah, like that. Power steering. This goes to the alternator down here. And then this pulley, I think, goes on this side like that. And then this pulley goes like that. And then we have the alternator itself. And we got the banjo bolt, that's gonna be getting polished from the power steering. We got the lower receiver from the intake manifold that's also gonna be getting polished, because as you guys can see here, you see the Cosworth and it looks nice, but then you look down there and you see the receiver, it looks all not nice. So that's gonna get polished as well. But so far we got everything out. Look at that, it's a mess of things. Of course, had to remove the oil filter to get the alternator out. So now that that's out, cool. We got that out of the way. We got the power steering that goes right here. We got that out of the way. So power steering, alternator, oil filter down there. So we're gonna be basically doing an oil change. But as you guys can see, this thing looks horrendous, super horrible. Oh my God, it's so dirty down here. So definitely gonna give this all a wash, because it really, really needs it. Apparently, from what I heard, you could also delete this and get rid of this hose. This hose right here. So I'm gonna look into that, see if I could delete it, get rid of this whole thing. This hose, this thing, and then this thing. And instead of the oil filter bolting onto here, the oil filter will bolt directly onto this. So apparently this is like the oil cooler or oil warmer. I'm not exactly sure on the terms, but you guys could correct me if I'm wrong down below in the comments. But deleting that, I can actually cut this pipe way back over here. That way you don't have it sticking out like the way it does. But other than that, engine's starting to look more simplified, I guess you could say. So I'm gonna spray some brake cleaner all down here in this area, clean all that up as much as I can, and then we'll get back into putting everything back when we drop off the parts to Vivek. All right, so here we are, bait polish, dropping off timing cover along with cam covers for George's car, his GTR manifold, a spare timing cover for DE engine, my power steering, the power steering brackets, the lower intake manifold receiver, my alternator, pulleys, along with the bracket. So all this is gonna get polished, powder coated chrome. George is gonna get polished, or no, you're gonna get chromed and
yeah, this
gold
is gonna
plated.
be gold plated. And let me show you guys.
All right, guys. So it is about today's Friday, Saturday, day and a half basically left before the show, and now I'm getting Ruby ready by polishing up the engine bay. So Ligjur went to go pick up the parts for me because it's a long drive, and I'm busy wrapping my cousin's car, which is right here, which we still need to wrap the front bumper. You guys will see this in a separate video, but no more green on his car. As you guys just saw a little quick preview, it got a full color transformation. You guys will see more on the Slammedenuff vlog, but and his own transformation video of the color. But for right now what I am doing is polishing up everything I can. As you guys can see, it's starting to look pretty shiny now. Cleaning up the valve covers. We got the other cover right there that I'm gonna put on after. But see, I also ended up polishing up this coolant hose, tube, whatever you want to call it. So as you guys can see, it ended up pretty looking semi, I guess. I'm just trying to sand it down and then wet sand it and then sanding it down with polish and then polishing it with the rag, and then that's how it ended up. So it looks at least a lot better than what it was. Parts here again. We have George's GTR manifold, gold plated. Then we have my lower receiver. You guys can see, all shiny and polished. We got the alternator, all shiny and polished. Power steering, all shiny. And then we have another throttle body that we got. So we're gonna be swapping this one out with the older one. So you guys can see, this one looks pretty dull. And yeah, it's hard to get in here to polish this thing. So we have one freshly polished that we're gonna be swapping out. And then we have power steering bracket. All these parts right here are chrome powder coated. So as you guys can see, it looks pretty damn good as well. So we're gonna get started on putting Ruby back together, and hopefully everything starts up perfectly fine with no issues. So
why?
all right, so we are done with my part, except, so you guys can see right here, it looks all polished up, nice chrome on the pulleys, alternator, brackets. But the only problem is now the belts don't fit. Since the crank pulley is a lot smaller than the original one, I need new belts. So I need at least 2 inches from the back one shorter. I need the back one 2 inches shorter and the front one at least 1.5 inches. So the tensioners can actually do something and actually like put tension on the belts, which so tomorrow we should be able to get those at AutoZone. I'm hoping, assuming. And then we got George over here with his whole mess, basically. So you guys will see that on his channel, on him trying keyword trying to put the GTR manifold on. But what time is it, Isaac?
1:44.
It's 1:44 a.m. right now, and I literally just finished all of mine. So you can see the shiny lower receiver now down there, looking nice. The original one right there, looking like crap. My old throttle body, polished throttle body, which basically looks pretty dull now compared to the new one. It looks real good. But there we have it. Engine definitely looking so much cleaner. All right, so we finally have Ruby looking all in one piece again. Look at that. Engine bay looking super clean right now. Finally with the belts. So we're gonna give it its first startup. I am already imagining that we are gonna hear some screeching noises in the beginning because of the new pulleys being powder coated, the new belts and stuff. So I'm expecting some screeching noises. Hopefully not continuous screeching noises, because then we have to go back and fix whatever's causing the screeching problem. But for now, let's get a cold startup. First startup in 6+ weeks. of the car sitting. I already know there's probably going to be a bunch of smoke coming out of the exhaust, most likely, but let's get it. What?
Fucking rip. I hear your compressors getting power. Fucking rip.
All right, so we had a little issue with the throttle body. So apparently this throttle body was not opening on the flap. Now it is because they kind of forced it open. But at first this one was like sealed shut. So we swapped it out with another one that we had. So got it all put back together. Clearing the code right now. And then let's see if we can actually finally get a good quick startup. And it aired up. So at least my air suspension still works. All right. Shout out to the neighbors. Yup. That motor down exhaust. First startup in over 6 weeks. Hell yeah. Hey, and the belts didn't squeak. Yeah. Belts did not squeak. All right, so we got George who's gonna move his car now. I need to drive my car, make sure everything's legit. But look at this, guys. It's literally been sitting here since February when I did the video reveal shoot. Look at this. This thing is dusty. But I'm not gonna wash it. I'm gonna wash it once we get to Ontario. So we're finally out here in Ontario where we just got our hotel. Cars are parked. So that's gonna be the end of today's video, guys. I'm gonna end it right here. If you guys have kept up with us on social media, Instagram, then you guys will know that we are gonna be at Slammedenuff. So you guys can come check out the cars right there. But today's video, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, thank you guys for always supporting the channel. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.